for introduction, that this happens to be an age of battle of words. My slight disagreement and perhaps a correction is that this is not an age of battle of words. You're looking at an age of battle of ideas, words, and on the street. And precisely to dispel the notion that the so-called battle of ideas can be won solely on the basis of words is the purpose of this book, which is to basically show that anyone who operates under the assumption that dialogue is the way forward and dialogue alone is the way forward is perhaps missing the point of Bharatiya history. Because my experience of writing this book has clearly told me that as much as we would want to put stock in the fact that this particular civilization believes in the dialogic process, the fact of the matter is those who don't see themselves as part of this particular civilization don't believe in the dialogic process. And therefore the dialogic process is merely an attempt at providing intellectual cover fire to every anti-civilizational and every anti-dharmic activity as possible. And the moment you present a resistance to that particular activity, out comes the true color. And therefore this book has been an attempt to dispel the notion that the war of civilizations or the clash of civilizations, whether we like it or not, is perhaps underway already and is not going to be won exclusively on the basis of ideological victories or political victories. This much has become clear at least over the last 2 years, or at the very least for the last 6 months. One of the reasons that I have written this particular book and I have changed the timeline of this particular book is I consciously believe, and it has been reinforced during the course of the writing of this book, that we are currently living in the age of Khilafat 2.0. And therefore, what is the motivation that drives that particular mentality? What is the modus operandi which this particular mentality employs and adopts to advance its agenda? That has been the exercise behind this particular book. Now, this book has about 9 chapters. You start with the concept in chapter 1, and by the time you're done with chapter 9, you will see the manner in which this particular mindset actions and affects its ideology on the ground. The difference between our point of view and the other side's point of view is that they don't believe in words alone. And therefore, there is a very clear, concrete implementation of the thought on the ground. I am not blaming them for it. I am merely saying they are right in doing whatever they are doing because that's the way to put your thought into action. The difference is that their actions as well as their ideas are pitted against our ideas and our fundamental way of life. So I agree with the other side's organizational approach. I agree with their commitment to their beliefs. My entire disagreement is our own understanding that it is possible to win this particular battle or to fight this particular, let's say, war of ideology, so to speak, with both hands tied to your back. That's not going to happen. I am not here to stoke any kind of trouble. I am merely saying the trouble has already arrived. I am not creating anything. I am merely asking people to wake up and smell the coffee. So let me read a few excerpts from the book without revealing too much, just so that you understand why this book has effectively left me with a greater sense of purpose and a greater sense of reality, that we are not in the realm of inspirational talks or motivational talks anymore. Please realize that. This is not a road show for a particular individual or a particular book.